The day began with the softest of light, darlings. It was that magical hour just before the world truly wakes up. We set off on our journey, leaving the busy shores of Lake Maggiore behind us. The road began to climb, twisting and turning like a ribbon thrown carelessly into the mountains. This was the entrance to the Versasca Valley, a place whispered about in stories. The air grew cooler, crisper, and smelled wonderfully of pine and damp earth. It felt as though we were entering another world, a secret kingdom hidden away from the rush of modern life. Every curve in the road revealed a new wonder, a glimpse of a towering peak or a deep emerald green river below. Our car hummed along, a tiny speck in a vast dramatic landscape. The valley walls rose steeply on either side, their stony faces patched with resilient green trees. Down below, the Versasca River flowed with an almost unbelievable clarity. Its waters, famous for their turquoise color, tumbled over smooth gray stones that have been polished by centuries of currents. One simply had to stop and gaze. It's a river that looks as if it's made of liquid jewels, a treasure flowing right through the heart of this alpine wonderland. The journey itself was part of the adventure, preparing us for the calm that awaited at the end of the road. As we drove deeper, the signs of civilization became fewer and farther between. We passed tiny villages, clusters of stone houses clinging bravely to the mountainsides. These are called rustici, and they speak of a time when life was much harder, but perhaps simpler too. You can feel the history in the very air here. The valley is a living museum, and the road is its main gallery, showcasing the breathtaking artistry of nature. I found myself glued to the window, not wanting to miss a single moment of this glorious procession of mountains, trees, and that mesmerizing river. It was utterly, completely captivating. Finally, after what felt like a journey through time itself, the road opened up, and there it was, Sonogno. The village appeared at the very end of the valley, nestled in a wide basin and surrounded by a magnificent amphitheater of mountains. It was as if the peaks were standing guard, protecting this precious place from the outside world. The morning sun was just beginning to touch the highest summits, painting them in shades of gold and rose. The sense of arrival was profound. We had reached the end of the road, but it felt like the beginning of a truly wonderful discovery. The peace was immediate and absolute. Stepping out of the car in Sonogno was like stepping into a painting. The silence was the first thing I noticed. It wasn't an empty silence, but a gentle living one, filled with the distant sound of cowbells and the soft murmur of a nearby stream. The air was so pure it felt like a tonic. All around us the mountains stood tall and majestic, their jagged peaks piercing the brilliant blue sky. They cradled the village, making it feel safe and secluded. This isn't a place you simply pass through, it's a destination, a final peaceful stop where the world seems to pause and take a deep, calming breath. The village itself is a marvel of traditional architecture. The houses are built from local stone, their heavy gray walls and stone slab roofs blending perfectly with the surrounding landscape. It's clear that these homes were built to last, to withstand the harsh alpine winters and stand for generations. Many of them are adorned with colorful flower boxes, bursting with red geraniums and bright petunias, adding a cheerful splash of color against the weathered gray stone. Walking through the narrow, car-free cobblestone lanes, one feels a powerful sense of history. It feels as if the centuries have simply slipped by without leaving much of a mark. What makes Sonogno so utterly unique is this feeling of timelessness. There are no large hotels, no noisy tourist traps, just the quiet rhythm of village life. It's a place where you can hear your own thoughts. The community is small and close-knit, and you can feel that warmth as you wander. People greet you with a friendly buongiorno, a reminder that we are in the Italian-speaking part of Switzerland. This blend of Swiss efficiency and Italian warmth is simply delightful. It's a place that invites you to slow down, to look, to listen, and to simply be present. As I took my first exploratory steps, I marveled at how nature and human settlement coexist so harmoniously here. The village doesn't impose on the landscape, it belongs to it. The stone houses look as if they have grown right out of the mountainside. The gardens are filled with vegetables and herbs, and the sound of water is ever present, flowing from stone fountains and along ancient irrigation channels. It's a testament to a way of life that respects the environment and understands its rhythms. Sonogno isn't just a pretty village. It's a living example of sustainable living, practiced for hundreds of years. One of the most charming discoveries in Sonogno was a small, unattended stand by the side of a path. It was a self-service cheese and salami stall. Imagine that. Inside a little wooden cupboard, local alpine cheeses and cured meats were neatly arranged with a price list and a simple metal box for the money. This small detail spoke volumes about the trust and honesty that form the bedrock of this community. It's a system built on faith in your neighbors and in the visitors who come to admire your home. Of course, I had to buy a piece of cheese. It was nutty and delicious, tasting of mountain pastures and sunshine. This village is a treasure trove of local crafts. As I wandered, I noticed wonderful wood carvings displayed outside a small workshop. There were charming figures of alpine animals, intricate household items, and beautiful decorative pieces. The craft of woodworking has been passed down through generations here, a necessary skill in a place where you are surrounded by forests. Further on, I stumbled upon the old village bread oven, a communal stone structure where families would once have gathered to bake their weekly loaves. Though it's not used as frequently now, it stands as a powerful symbol of community and shared resources. These traditions are what give Sonogno its soul. It's a place where the past is not just remembered, it is actively woven into the fabric of daily life. Another delightful surprise was a small trout farm, where crystal clear water from the mountain streams is channeled into pools teeming with fish. It's a simple, brilliant way of using the natural resources available. You can even buy freshly caught trout to cook for your dinner. It all contributes to a sense of self-sufficiency and a deep connection to the land that sustains the village. The local culture is a fascinating blend. The language here is Italian, but with its own distinct dialect that carries the history of the valley in its sounds. The food is hearty and delicious, based on simple local ingredients: polenta, cheese, potatoes, and cured meats. It's food that is designed to fuel you for a day of hard work in the mountains. But more than anything, it is the spirit of the people that is so captivating. They are proud of their heritage and happy to share it, but in a quiet, unassuming way. Their friendliness is gentle and genuine, making you feel not like a tourist, but like a welcome guest. In the heart of the village stands the parish church, the Church of Santa Maria Loretana. Its tall, elegant bell tower, or campanile, is a landmark you can see from almost anywhere in Sonogno. It rises gracefully above the stone roofs, its bells marking the passage of time with a gentle, melodic chime. The exterior is simple and unassuming, painted in a soft, welcoming yellow that contrasts beautifully with the grey stone of the surrounding buildings. It feels like the spiritual center of the community, a place of gathering and quiet contemplation for centuries. It draws you in with a promise of peace. Stepping inside, I was immediately struck by the profound sense of calm. The interior was much more ornate than the simple exterior suggested, a common and wonderful surprise in Italian-style churches. The ceilings were adorned with beautiful frescoes, their colors still vibrant despite their age. They depicted scenes from the Bible, painted with a charming folk art quality. The light filtered softly through the windows, illuminating the polished wooden pews and the gilded details of the altar. It was not a grand or imposing cathedral, but a small, intimate space that felt deeply personal and loved. There was a lovely stillness inside the church. I sat for a while in one of the pews, simply soaking in the atmosphere. It was a place that felt holy in the truest sense of the word, not because of any grand ceremony, but because of the countless generations of villagers who had come here to pray, to celebrate, to mourn, and to find solace. You could almost feel their presence in the worn stone floor and the smooth, polished wood of the railings. It's a repository of the village's collective hopes and fears, a silent witness to its entire history. What made the church feel so special was its authenticity. It wasn't a museum piece, it was a living, breathing part of the community. There were fresh flowers on the altar and hand-embroidered cloths, small signs of ongoing care and devotion. This little church in this remote alpine village felt more moving and spiritually resonant than many of the world's great cathedrals. It was a sanctuary of stone and faith, offering a powerful sense of peace and continuity in a world that is constantly changing. Leaving it, I felt refreshed and deeply touched by its simple, honest beauty. Feeling utterly serene, I decided to take a short walk, following a well-marked path that led out of the village. The trail meandered alongside the river, which here is a tributary of the main Vasaska. The sound of rushing water was my constant companion, a joyful, energetic music that seemed to fill the valley. The path was easy and pleasant, leading me through lush green meadows dotted with wildflowers. I saw butterflies dancing in the air and heard the cheerful chirping of birds in the trees. It was nature at its most idyllic and welcoming. Before long, I heard a deeper, more powerful roar. The path turned, and there it was, a magnificent waterfall cascading down a sheer rock face. The water plunged into a deep, clear pool below, sending up a fine mist that felt wonderfully cool on my skin. It was a breathtaking sight, a raw display of nature's power and beauty. I stood for a long time just watching the endless flow of water, mesmerized by its force and grace. It felt like a secret gift, a spectacle hidden away for those who take the time to wander just a little beyond the village. Continuing my walk, I soon came upon another of the region's iconic sights, a traditional double-arch stone bridge. These bridges, known as Roman bridges although they were built in the medieval period, are masterpieces of engineering. They leap gracefully across the river, their elegant stone arches perfectly reflected in the crystal-clear water below. They are so much more than just a way to cross the river. They are works of art, built with skill and an eye for beauty. The bridge in Sonogno is particularly lovely, fitting into the landscape as if it had always been there. As I stood on that ancient bridge, looking back towards the village nestled among the mountains, I felt an overwhelming sense of peace and joy. Sonogno is a place that captures your heart. It's the combination of the majestic landscape, the charming village, the rich traditions, and the gentle spirit of the people. It's a reminder of a simpler, more connected way of living. I would encourage you, darling, to close your eyes and imagine yourself here. Imagine the fresh mountain air, the sound of cowbells, the sight of those sturdy stone houses. It's a place that heals the soul and fills you with a quiet, lasting happiness.